Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you Game 2 in a series between KawaiiRice versus Puma here on Crevasse. Someone actually asked me, like, why do I pronounce it Crevasse as opposed to Crevasse? Last time I read up on the map description, it was actually supposed to be the French word, or it isn't the English word for crevice. It was crevasse. So I've always been pronouncing it crevasse ever since. But if someone can enlighten me and let me know if I am doing it wrong, I will gladly change it. I do try to pronounce everything correctly and try to know all the details for you guys, but this is something I just may not know. Anyways, we are gonna have a supply depot on the front door coming in from Puma. So Puma opting to go for a front door supply depot as opposed to the supply depot over here by the Vespene Geyser. This one SCV will be able to return to work just a little bit more quickly, and then perhaps the barracks will be built over here. The real true difference between a front door supply depot versus a non-front door supply depot is whether or not you're going to be going for early units and early infantry. It looks like, oh, we are going in for an early refinery from Puma. So Puma opening it up with an early refinery, and we may see some early Hellions. That's the only thing that I can really come up with. Usually early Hellions is a very, very strong possibility. We are going to be getting up a barracks in just a moment. There you go. Wait for it. Okay, apparently he trained up another SCV. Waiting for the barracks now. The barracks is now up and running, or up and building. Meanwhile, back over here, we see KawaiiRice going for a 14 command center. One important thing to note, this Vespene Geyser is not a rich Vespene Geyser, and it only has 6 mineral patches as opposed to the standard 8, so it is not a full expansion. What I call almost a half expansion on gas and then a 3/4 expansion on minerals. Anyways, as this game goes long, we'll see what these players really try to do. We may be getting up a factory in just a moment. That's the only reason why to go for a refinery first. And meanwhile, we should be getting an upgrade to an orbital command, as well as this SCV now looking around over here, perhaps getting up a factory on the high ground. This is not your typical location for a factory, and it looks as though this SCV is just going to patrol here. So I am absolutely confused by Puma's strategy. He is going for another refinery down over here, so it looks like he's going to be going for a faster factory into Banshees. So a quick Banshee play here on Crevasse, and we'll see how this works out for him. He will be able to get up a lot of gas very, very quickly. That starport he should have no problem getting both a Banshee up and starting that cloaking research. By the time the Banshee gets across the map, it should already have enough research time in order to enough research time so that there will be a cloaked Banshee in the base. We can see now a tech lab being added, and now a second barracks being built. So multiple barracks here on Crevasse. Meanwhile, we are already going into our starport. Both players playing Terran, but with a very different strategy this time around. They are not mirroring each other at all. As you can already see, KawaiiRice with a slight economic advantage with a second mule in play. So that will definitely help, as he is also training up 2 SCVs at a time. The real telling factor will be whether or not Puma gets a lot of mileage and a lot of damage with this starport. The Banshees will have to be spot on, and I believe they will be. He's going to have exactly 300 gas, so the cloaking research and the Banshee now being trained. He needs another supply depot. There's that supply depot, and now building up an SCV as well, perhaps calling down a mule in just a moment. That SCV could have been taken down if this Marine was actually stationed where he was supposed to be, and now this SCV is still flying around the map trying to find where his opponent is. Now, you can see a Hellion also being added, that Banshee still being trained. There's that second Banshee that I was mentioning. Also, we need to see another supply depot being built. Otherwise, Puma will be continually supply blocked, instead setting up a scouting supply depot there. One SCV will be making its way up that ramp straight to his death. 7 Marines able to meet and greet him as an engineering bay now being built. So we'll see whether or not the missile turrets will be placed in the proper position. A Banshee already making its way out across the field. A second Banshee being trained up as well. It needs about another 35 seconds before it's done. And also only about another 20 seconds before that cloaking field is done. So the Banshees may get a lot of damage here. And I don't see a missile turret just quite yet. The Banshee, instead hugging the far corner, will be able to fly straight into here. And now coming across the side, it does reveal. Gonna take down one SCV. Down goes that SCV there. And now the Marines are quickly trying to come back over. It looks like another SCV will get destroyed. Another SCV destroyed. So the kills are already starting to rack up there. Trying to get as much damage as possible. And there's the cloak. The cloak. And now the Marines are just trying to follow that flicker, getting some more damage, now getting some damage perhaps onto some more SCVs. It looks like a scanner sweep will be coming in as that Banshee able to back off and get even more damage still. So another Marine killed, and now already 400 resources killed by this one Banshee, and it still is not done just quite yet. This Banshee looking to get even more damage. 2 Banshees in the air. There is a missile turret already up, and now turning around. Oh, one Banshee is shot down, as the Banshee, with that range of 6, just playing it very, very safe. It should perhaps try to come back in, re-engage, but there is a missile turret now being added as well. This one SCV should get shot down first, as it looks like, yeah, that SCV now destroyed. Another SCV now destroyed, but a constant stim pack, making it very difficult as the Marines are faking, perhaps, that they want to engage, and now this missile turret will finally get up. And down it goes. Oh, the Banshee able to escape at 14 hit points. But another SCV was destroyed. Total worker kills 12. But the overall harvester count, not so good. You can now see Puma finally, or still behind in terms of harvesters, 30 compared to 33. And he does have some mules, and he was able to eat up a lot of scanner sweeps, which is important. But he didn't get as much damage as I think Puma really needed to. But instead, a drop now going to be coming in. So a drop now being added. But I believe the SCV will spot that medevac, and perhaps we will be getting a little bit of reinforcements coming in here in just a moment. The missile turrets will be able to shoot, I believe, down this medevac here, so it has to be very careful where it drops. He does know about both missile turrets, so I'm not quite sure what he hopes to do here. And now you can see that the Marines and the Hellions are dropping here up on that high ground. The Marines going after the missile turret, but now being forced to pull back, and down goes that Hellion. Puma not getting any real damage with that one medevac. A supply depot took a little bit of a beating. A missile turret took a little bit of a beating, but that is essentially it. We can now see a siege tank being built, siege tank already completed, as we are going into perhaps a little bit more of a defensive posture by Puma. Puma is going back into that Marine bio tank play that we saw earlier. Yes, adding a reactor as well. Meanwhile, one Viking in the air trying to hunt down that Banshee. That Banshee now in retreat, as we should be getting perhaps another command center soon. Yes, another command center coming in from KawaiiRice already. And also a starport with a reactor ripe for the taking, as we are going into an armory and double engineering bays. That means 2-2 upgrades should be coming in just a moment. This Banshee looking to perhaps get some damage, and does not spot the medevac. So that may be a little bit of a telltale sign of what will be happening. That Banshee over here just hiding, going to try to fly along the corner. But I don't think he will be able to see anything at all. There are some Marines here. Yeah, not submarines. Some Marines here. And also building up a missile turret as well. The missile turret should be able to complete in time. The missile turret... Oh, a sensor tower. All right, it looks like a missile turret. A sensor tower now being built, and it will instantaneously reveal this medevac as it's coming in. And also now building that missile turret. The missile turret is a little bit late. Sensor tower does reveal the medevac now coming in, and now now are firing against these Marines. The Marines are getting healed as they're dropping, and down it goes. Down goes that missile turret as well. So a drop coming in from KawaiiRice, very, very effective. But now, are the Marines going to straight drop into the mineral line? Oh, getting some splash damage onto those poor SCVs. Nicely done. And now if he can drop one more into a bunch there, yes, a lot of workers were lost in that engagement. A little bit of fancy flying by a medevac, and Marines not caring, just trying to win the war and jumping straight into siege tank fire. Double Vikings now being trained. Finally, a missile turret will be added as well. The siege tanks are pulling back. We may get another missile turret down over here, so it's going to be very difficult for a medevac to do any sort of landing at all. Puma also with a Banshee at the scouting location here will know when that third base is going up. We are now 13 minutes into this game, and the rocks are now getting destroyed as well. The Banshee does spot this one orbital command now quickly cloaking, but it looks like the Banshee will be able to escape and now turn around. No, that Banshee pilot didn't know, and now gonna come back in, and now in comes a drop instead. So Puma perhaps focusing down over here. The missile turret is gonna get a lot of damage onto that one medevac. The medevac not dropping that many Marines, dropping 1 Marine in total. And now this 1 Marine really needs to get a lot of damage. It doesn't look like it will be able to get that much. 1 kill. Is it actually going to be able to get a decent number of kills at all, as another drop happening over here, clearing out some missile turrets, and now a push, now pushing in on the front side. The siege tank now trying to force back. I don't think this is going to work out well at all. 1 siege tank now down. The Marines are stimming and able to catch up against many of those siege tanks. Siege tank after siege tank being destroyed, and Puma losing a lot more in this battle so far. Things are not looking good. Wow. Puma down to 1,600 resources compared to 3,000 in total army. You can see that just KawaiiRice in a dominant position. He is currently supply blocked, though, now getting 3 additional supply depots up to 130 over 137, and just continuing to train as many units as he can. Siege tanks in a defensive posture. The Marines are upgraded 1-0 right now. It looks like KawaiiRice does have double engineering bays. Could start the 3-2 research if only he had enough gas. He is building 2 additional refineries down here. And now mining with 7 mules. That is never something you want to see, as you're going to see his resources jump into the stratosphere, around 3,500 resources a minute. The main base, or the high ground location over here, does have a couple SCVs that may get transferred as well. Rocks also getting destroyed down here. So I'm a little curious as to this expansion, which will be taken next. And both players now in a bit of a rebuilding mode, not wanting to engage. It looks like KawaiiRice with 2-1 upgrades doesn't want to press out his advantage just quite yet. A medevac looking to do perhaps a drop. The medevac will be flying around, perhaps dropping into this location here. That's perhaps one of the only locations that does not have a missile turret, and will be able to drop some Marines. There you go. The Marines are now engaging and now pulling back, and I don't know what KawaiiRice is planning to do with mass SCVs. They are just getting destroyed, and I think Puma getting the upper hand in that little bit of an engagement there, just taking down a lot of workers. 53 workers now compared to 69, as we now see 2 very large armies moving in through the center portion of the map. It looks like we may have a push down here, and this is going to become a very difficult situation to defend against. A siege tank should siege up. You can see the siege range on both of these tanks. Range of 13, so much damage could be dealt, as both players are just, digging in deep and perhaps trying to fight back. Siege tanks are now in a defensive posture, able to blast away at many of those Marines. Those Marines didn't really stand much of a chance at all, as it looks like KawaiiRice with the high ground advantage in a very nice posture here. I cannot imagine why Puma would even want to try to engage at this time. There is just absolutely too much there, but he does want to try to deny that Zelnaga tower. So he has denied the tower. So we can see that KawaiiRice doesn't really see as much as he would want to. The scanner sweep really revealing the majority there, as another drop will be coming in by Puma. So Puma getting in even more economic damage. Perhaps a missile turret now coming in as well. Marines look like they are ready for a medevac drop. 3 missile turrets will detract from any sort of drop at all, as the medevac now simply coming in over here. They cannot drop next to the siege tanks. I'm not quite sure where Puma can go with this. There's a missile turret over here, and it looks like he's just going to simply fly by and perhaps drop straight into here. This is such a weird position, as it doesn't look like KawaiiRice was ready for a drop in the center portion, and now the Marines are going to make their way into the mineral line, getting even more damage here. More SCVs are trying to back off. Once again, the Marines are fighting their way through, taking down multiple workers, and now 49 workers have been killed by Puma. Really nicely done, as the Marines are continuing to engage. Meanwhile, a large battle in the center portion of the map also taking place, but so much damage being done by Puma's Marines that it's absolutely hilarious. 64 worker kills already, 37 SCVs compared to 69. And KawaiiRice is now in trouble. He had an army advantage, but he was never able to really capitalize on it. And Puma, with some very timely drops in the right location, was able to just push through and get a lot of damage done. And now Puma with the larger economy and also I believe the stronger research as another battle happening over here. Marines battling it out. The Marines need to be very, very careful. These medevacs need to pull back. It looks like the rest of those medevacs are going to simply get shot down. Stim push, finishing off the rest of those units there. But we are getting a lot more production. Level 3 weapons upgrade, level 2 armor upgrades, more Marines and more siege tanks. And taking a look at the overall harvester count and the income tab, 1,200 versus 900. Is Puma going to be able to translate his economic advantage into an army advantage anytime soon? There are so many siege tanks in the center portion, 11 siege tanks. The Marines perhaps going to try to get some damage there. It doesn't look like it. Some siege tanks some Marines getting a little bit close to those Crucio shock cannons from the siege tanks, and now once again backing off. Level 2 weapons upgrade on the siege tanks. Meanwhile, KawaiiRice only has level 1. Is not starting level 2 just quite yet. The Marines looking to push forward once again. And now in comes this push here. Looks like the medevacs will get destroyed. Siege tanks able to blast away even further as both sides have very, very large armies. The siege tanks able to get some damage here. And I believe, KawaiiRice going to lose some of his siege tanks. Just a bad positioning. So down go another siege tank there. And we'll see what's going to be happening. This one siege tank getting off a couple quick kills. And now KawaiiRice just moving out with another large army once more. A lot of Marines, 3-1 upgrades on those Marines. Soon to be 3-2 siege tanks. Soon to have 2-0 upgrades. And is now halfway completed. Marines now simply trying to stim in as well. And now just trying to overrun the position. Siege tanks will be sieging. And now all of these tanks in the center portion of the map will get destroyed. And now KawaiiRice, who worked so hard for his positioning, may not be able to hold the line very long at all. These siege tanks, just unsiege at just the wrong time. And KawaiiRice able to get back another inch or two in these tank wars. A medevac drop now coming in. Planetary Fortress up on that high ground, perhaps going to drop over here, get some damage onto those SCVs, as there is now a battle in the center. Siege tanks once again doing a bit of a push. Siege tanks are blasting away both sides. Vikings in the air as well. Medevac, siege tank going to finish off the rest of those unsieged tanks there. But the Planetary Fortress getting off a couple easy kills, and instead going to drop over here instead. So it looks like KawaiiRice now trying to do the economic damage, and we'll see if it's going to be effective at all. The Marines now battling it out, and in the main line over here as both sides are dealing a lot of damage to each other. And now the siege tank going to perhaps take a little bit of damage as well. The Marines going to finish off that tank with ease. Another siege tank finished off with ease. And these siege tanks are just pummeling this location. Medevac, Marines able to get more damage here. But I think Puma just taking this battle, and a very macro-intensive battle here on Crevasse. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed this 1v1 replay.